6707.
Sorry.
These guys on duty.
Okay, good. Well,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
maybe wait for Sky then.
I just got an email from Maeve as well.
Oh, good. Wait, like she's on her way, or?
No, just her thoughts.
Okay, I can read them out once.
This guy's here. She's at
Sky's
Mr.
here.
PD. Can you 311 and tell her to come up here? Or ask,
Sure.
I should say, ask her to come up here.
Eddie, we're all up at BCSO. Oh, you sound tired. Ooh. All right. Well, yeah, we'll be waiting for you. All right. Bye bye.
I mean, fuck, we're all standing here. So so here's my thing with this whole thing. I guess, clue me in if I'm wrong, right? But Opal gave her instructions not to. Was it specifically only not call 78s if she's shot?
Don't pursue. Don't call 78s. Just retrieve the body. Is the verbiage that was used.
The thing that's really tough with that is I mean, yeah, you guys are gonna have to fill me in on this, but I mean, if she's ordering a command, if she's taking orders from somebody that outranks her, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it was also Montes articulated it, at least to me and Ricky, that it wasn't strictly an order, more of an ask, but also from a superior. So it's very complicated, right?
So that's
a lot of blurred
go ahead,
lines.
Rosner.
I'm going to say it. Look, if somebody tells you to do something and they are a superior officer, that is an order. You don't have to use the magic words. This is an order. Same way as you don't have to use the magic words. This is a lawful order. Like, if somebody from a superior tells you to do something, it is reasonable to assume that that is an order and you should follow it.
And if she would have asked her to jump off a fucking bridge, would she have done it?
Well, I mean, yeah, I get your point.
That's where.
I hate to make us wait, but Sky's just around the corner.
Okay, well, wait. Sorry, I just didn't want to stand in silence.
No, I just don't want us to have to go over the same thing again.
Nah, I guess we're gonna do it anyway, aren't we?
Yeah.
Are we having Montes come in at some point for this, or?
Yeah, she said she would be here for it. I don't know when she's gonna arrive. I'd like for us to go over the points in the report as well first, the timeline. Then we can discuss if we need to, then bring Madeline in so she can give her share of things. We can ask any questions to her. And then I would like for us to discuss again without Madeline present, and ideally I'd like to come to a conclusion today. I'd like her to be informed of any disciplinary actions today so that we can get this squared away.
Hey, Sky.
Hi, Sky.
Hello, sorry.
Hey.
Hey, good morning. Hey.
I overnapped, but I'm here.
So good. Sky, have you read the reports for these ones?
Unless there's been anything new.
So there's two reports that'll be shared with you. One is the Opal kidnap situation, and one is the contact panel for Madeline. So we had just started talking about the initial setup of the meeting. Madeline asked Opal to arrange a meeting with Sean. Opal then said, "I'm meeting with Sean," and Opal said, "If I get shot, don't call 78s, don't pursue them, just recover me, and leave it at that." Now the point of contention with this one is, since Madeline was acting under orders from Opal not to, I guess, call 78s if she was shot, that is what it is, while I think that was an unreasonable order, and I am surprised that she didn't question it, I also,
thing without being emotional about it or anything, because I was screaming earlier for the dramatic effects. Having someone giving you an order doesn't mean it's always right, and you have to follow it all the time. And that's something that we do put on the table when we train people, right?
I think that when the situation changed, is that 10 to 15 minutes into the meeting, Opal's blip disappeared. And I think at that point it changed from, the not calling 78 if I'm shot to something, more serious, more sinister is happening.
Yeah, because she would have not been able to recover any body.
Yes.
Since there was no blip no more.
And even after that, like Fisher then came on duty after, right? Then 40 minutes after that, Madeline got a call from Opal's phone, which, he told her, you can look for her now. Now, this is still 40 minutes after the Opal's blip was lost, visual was lost on Opal, and still Madeline didn't call for any backup. She started searching on her own with Fisher, but they were searching separately. They searched the hound's properties, they searched Catfish View. Still on their own, still without any backup, still without notifying anybody. They then went and recovered Opal's vehicle. During this, Fisher said to Madeline, we should call backup for this, we should, do this one. And Madeline refused to call for backup. She said, no, it's fine. Fisher then goes off duty. Madeline continues to search alone in Polito. 40 minutes after that, Madeline then calls Ricky and Alan to tell them, but it's non-urgent. They say, can we finish what we're doing? She says, yeah, no worries, that's fine. So then 15 minutes after that, finally Alan and Ricky are advised that Opal's been kidnapped. It's now been 2 hours that she's been kidnapped at this point. So PD goes to search for Opal. It's been a long time. They don't find anything.
Hey, hold on. Just to clarify timeline, she didn't notify PD until 2 hours after.
For 2 hours.
Okay. Okay, continue. Sorry, I just want to.
So PD searches for Opal, can't find him. The search is called off. There's no clues, no indications, besides the call from Opal's phone to Madeline. So then Madeline gives a statement to Ricky, and Rosner's clan Jonah also join after, trickle in.
Jonah, you want to go?
Oh, I just realized I wasn't talking. I'm sorry.
No, you weren't.
You were.
Yeah.
Oh, I
thought we had the same thing as earlier.
Jonah trickled in and then you stopped talking.
Oh, I kept talking after that. So during the statement from Madeline, she omits and intentionally leaves out Fisher's involvement in the whole statement.
You're not talking anymore.
Oh my god, why does this keep happening to me?
Are you like
okay, so
switching between eyes?
No. Okay, Madeline gives a statement, leaves out Fisher. Eventually, Madeline's statement is finished. I think she goes off duty. Fisher comes on duty, drops off Madeline, and says, I think Fisher got spoken to about the situation. Fisher's like, oh, I was involved in that. And then Fisher speaks to Madeline and says, hey, why didn't you tell me about it? And Madeline says, I didn't want you to get in trouble. So Fisher says, you should tell them. Madeline says, oh, okay, yeah, okay. And she calls Ricky and gives the full information this time. At least we understand that there was. She didn't say there was anything left out in the end, right, Joe?
Sorry, repeat the question.
When you called, because you called Madeline back, right? And said, is there anything else that you need to add? I don't believe that there was, right?
Yeah, I brought her into the chief office. I said, fucking, this is your one chance to tell us if there's anything that you have left out, and we find out later that you have not told us, you will be immediately fucking fired. So this is your one chance to tell us. She said there's nothing else, and I've discovered nothing else since then. So she's not lied since that point.
Yeah. So, I left out as well at some point. I guess there was some back and forth communication between Madeline and we're assuming McQuillan with Opal's phone. Even after being told not to be in contact with them via the phone, Madeline still continued to contact them until she, I guess, went off duty for the remainder of the day. Is there anything that I've left out or you need to add to that?
That is my remembering of it, yeah.
Sounds complete. I think the people in this room, I was present for most of Madeline's initial storytelling, but that sounds all very very accurate to what she what I remember. And the notes I took in the day of.
Are there any questions about that? Anything that anyone needs cleared up?
I have a question.
Of course.
For Fisher, how come they were able to tell that Montes was like she was not making a good call and decided to go off duty without telling anybody about that?
I believe he's I mean he was pretty forthwith. I'm just not even gonna say the word. He was straightforward with me about it when he gave me his statement. He didn't have a good explanation for why he didn't intervene other than he's married to Montes. And that he had to go 42, but he had plenty of time while he was on duty to do his job. I really do think
they're married, so sorry, I'm unaware of this.
Yes.
Because we're at work, so I don't really care who fucks with who, you know? Like, if there's like a fucking... So okay. There's no excuse.
Fisher says in his statement, people will wonder why I didn't pull rank or something, but it was Opal and Montes' plan. I wanted to trust them. I was conflicted because it's Montes, we're married. I sat there for a bit, then needed to go off duty.
I do think the order of punishment is Opal most significantly at fault, Fisher secondarily most at fault, and then Montes just due to the nature of the responsibility of the roles that they fulfill. Like a lieutenant and a lead detective should not be doing that kind of shit. A sergeant should put his foot down, and then a senior who's essentially been asked to do something. Like there's a different level of culpability there for all three of them. I think Montes should, for the incident of Opal's kidnapping, receive the lesser of the three punishments. But the cherry on the shit thing is omission to her command and high command. Which is a very nice way of saying the lie.
I'm not personally a fan of like who's worse than who. I think everybody fucked up equally.
Yeah.
I do believe that everyone is on the same level because they all know better.
The thing about so this is God, this is gonna sound so weird. Well, it's not gonna sound weird, but how does shift 2 LSPD, or I guess Opal's more shift 1, isn't she?
Yeah,
Like,
she
on
is
paper,
shift
yeah.
1 lieutenant.
Didn't they have a panel for her this morning?
It's delayed. It got delayed by a day.
Regardless, like I don't know, and I could be wrong. You guys could correct me. Opal is a lieutenant, and we were taught very early on, like, listen, if you do something and you're given an order, then the brunt of responsibility falls on the commanding officer. I don't necessarily know all the details. It sounds like there's more details coming out. Regardless of that, I think that it should be handled swiftly, and we need to handle it how we would regardless of how LSPD would. I mean, if we're gonna if we're gonna maintain orders of consistency, we can't necessarily do like levels of whataboutism with it, and we just need to do what we would do and carry on.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't care what LSPD does.
I want us to focus only on Montez's involvement. If it was like that at the beginning, she followed the orders of a superior in Opal. That that is what it is. I think at a certain point it went from following orders to being negligent. If I'm honest, I think it went to being reckless. Once the blip was gone, it turned into a different situation in my eyes. And then, to be honest, I think it's even what made worse by the omission of Fisher. That could have been extremely valuable information that we could have used, right? And the fact that she went off duty, like after giving the statement, and only told us of the involvement and the remainder of the statement once she was told by him to tell us. I think that's extremely concerning.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I don't. the whole Fisher using their marriage as an excuse seems kind of crazy too.
Yeah.
Regardless, is he LSPD or is he BCSO?
He's
LSPD.
Okay, yeah,
and he's already been punished.
Yeah,
by the
he's
Shift 3 LSPD.
demoted from sergeant down to officer and has lost PNT lead.
Okay.
And is currently suspended.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a pretty big. It's pretty crazy. All right.
I guess more to my point is, I guess the caveat there is, in a perfect world, right? Obviously, we can only focus on Montes' punishment. But I guess the other thing there to highlight is, in my mind, the bigger issue with Montes is the negligence rolling down the hill into the omission, right? So if I were to think about, like, how many daps and what would we be dapping for, I think the biggest number of daps would need to be for the lion.
I don't know if it's like, I feel
I'm
like
gonna
it's
be
too
so
high for
honest.
dabs.
This is way beyond a DAP situation.
Right. I'm just contextualizing it within like
Yeah.
a framework, right? In terms of like a hierarchy of the issues, right? Just a good conveyor for that. Not necessarily that the DAPS is the punishment to go with.
The way I look at it is, from the moment she didn't tell somebody about Opal, right? Because our SOPs, one of the core values of the SOPs is accountability. We're supposed to hold ourselves and other officers to a certain standard and hold them accountable. So yes, Opal gave her, told her, hey, don't call 78s, don't tell anybody, whatever. Um, every single decision after that falls on Montes.
I do also
Agreed.
think that part of our job as like a man member or like senior and whatnot is to adapt to situation evolving quite like quickly. And this is a type of things that we are exposed every day, every call. And we're supposed to be able to react, in a good manner. And that was a really big judgment call, in my opinion.
I gotta step outside. Knight's just texted me. He said it's urgent. But
Alright.
I will be here for all this, and I'm probably gonna play devil's advocate, but I'm gonna support you in whatever you guys
That's fine.
choose.
Yeah.
Okay, once he comes back in, I wanna get Montes in here. So that we can move things along. Is there anything else that, like, any gaps in your understanding? I guess this is mainly for DuPont, since the rest of us kind of in the know with this one.
What's up?
Are there any other gaps in your understanding that you got questions about?
Honestly, I think your timeline is pretty perfect. I don't have any question for the time being.
Yeah,
Brother.
it's extremely concerning to me the lack of urgency throughout the whole thing. Like Opal could have been chopped up and her bits could have been scattered across Polito, like, in this time frame. This is like a 2 hour gap. Like, that's a long time. And not even just Opal missing and not reporting, but Montes was searching, like, alone. Like, Fisher was on radio with her, but she was alone. She could have been hurt as well. She could have been kidnapped as well. Fisher could have been as well. Like, it wasn't just
Yep.
that Opal was in danger, she was also in danger. She was in contact with McQuillan too.
I'm very interested in hearing what she has to say, to be honest, but you guys already have what I think about the whole thing.
I think she's gonna fall on the sword. I don't think she's gonna do herself any favors, which is what I'm worried about. I also just, like, one like thought I had about the whole thing is, it's like, okay, so in my mind, if I think the lion, not coming clean is like the biggest thing of two fairly big things, right? Like, what is the purpose of the lie, right? Is she trying to bail herself out by lying? Not really, right? She's trying to bail somebody else out for what she thinks is her mistake. So that adds some texture to her lie, and it also informs me as to how I think she's going to deal with this review panel, which is, I think she is going to try to soak up as much blame as she can, which is not going to be doing her no favors, and it's honestly not going to be doing us a ton of favors too if it ends up meaning we drum her out.
I don't want to discredit her for all the good work that she's done in the PD because she's done a lot, right?
Yeah. I think
She's a valued member of Shift 2 and the BCSO as a whole, but after this incident I've got some serious concerns of her thought process, and I don't know, just the whole thing was really concerning. Do we have any other questions before we bring Madeline in?
Could we do it in fuck, I guess people are gonna come into the meeting room, aren't they?
We can just put a note on the meeting room door and be like, don't
I
fucking
guess,
enter.
Can people hear from the
yeah, no, the thing is,
No, if the
yeah,
door's shut, they can't
I mean,
hear.
it's probably better in here. This room is like fucking sealed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I thought that too because the layout's a lot nicer for it, but
Yeah, I feel like this is very threatening too.
we don't want to go to like the hot tub.
I was gonna say,
No,
No,
this is
all
just
the, all the
way
other
up to the
panels I've
public.
done,
This
gone
is no
somewhere
hot tub
else.
talk.
That was a joke. I'm not seriously saying we go to the hot tub.
Should I stand and look out the window with like this ominous vibe about me?
You want a war farm, sir? You don't need our permission.
No.
I mean,
think
let's just
different.
go to the meeting room. Should we?
Okay,
Should we? Right? We'll
it's
put
up
up
to
a
you
sign.
guys. Listen, like I said, I'm going to support you guys in whatever you decide. I am going to be playing devil's advocate, though, just so you know.
No, that's fine. I think,
I think we all are in different ways.
I think this room's pretty split, and I think a lot of people don't even have their minds made up.
Okay,
would be my guess.
Ladies first. Hey, Rosner!
Decorum, sir. Decorum.
It's okay.
That's
I
actually-
understand that you guys know that I have a bigger dick than everybody in
See?
this room.
Hey,
Roll for it, pussy.
age before beauty. Age before beauty.
Okay,
All right.
fuck you.
Maybe I should make that a new SOP that we have to hold the doors open for women.
You can't even read.
Ever since I made Women's Month every month now.
Do we have food in the fridge? Or
Oh, we do
I
have
do
food,
have
yes.
some.
I
have
some
some.
drink if you need it.
No, I got a drink,
looking
thank you.
for Maddie. I'm good right
Okay,
now.
we're gonna go for the meeting room. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just nicer.
There's nothing wrong about my.
Your massive cock.
Yeah, my big.
Rosner, this is gonna be a sheriff and undersheriff thing, okay?
Always
We're
let the
gonna hold
women
each-
go first.
Yeah, we're gonna hold each
morning.
other. We're gonna hold each other accountable because I'm. Oh fuck! I already did it.
Oh,
Sorry,
God,
Scott.
come on, Sheriff.
Can someone put something on the screen?
Hey, ladies first. It's Rosner. It's mine and Rosner's new thing.
That's nice. I'm just popping a sign up.
Okay, all right. I wonder where that came from. Like, who started that?
Letting women go first?
Yeah.
I don't know. I reckon it's one of those things that sound nice, but actually, you go back in history and you realize that it was not nice at all.
Yeah, but that's just all of history in general, you know?
You're like, yeah, we let the women go first because we're chivalrous, but also because then that means they clear the traps.
Did someone put a sign on the door?
Yeah.
Can you guys
yeah.
mute your phone too?
All right, already done it.
Someone playing Hearthstone in here?
Wait.
I'm on my Slay the Spire 2 arc, sir. I don't touch that battleground shit no more.
No, I did love me some Battlegrounds. We'll talk about that later.
Fine. Jenna, you sit in this seat. I'll sit in this seat.
I feel silly sitting in the middle here.
Why? No, you piss me off.
I wanted everybody to sit in seats.
Okay, hi. Maddie, obviously we're here to talk about the incident you're involved in which Opal was kidnapped. While we do have a statement from you already that you gave on the day, I'd like you, if you could, to please just tell us all, like in your own words, verbally, what happened from top to tail, start to finish. Please don't leave anything out. And let us know if you need a break or you need just a couple minutes to collect yourself or anything if you start to get overwhelmed, okay?
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
First of all, good morning to everyone.
Howdy.
Good morning.
Howdy.
Okay. There's a chance that I'm not really gonna try and talk in like minutes a lot of like how much time happened between things because my time perception is really fucked. As in, for me, 15 minutes and 45 minutes are pretty much the same. So, um, in my statement, it will be the most accurate time, but I can recall the events the best I can. Um, on Friday, I came on duty. I was working on a different investigation. I was transcribing some interviews, and I called Opal. Um, I asked her how if she knew Sean McQuillan, of course, and how her rapport with him was. And I mentioned I was working on an investigation in which he potentially could have some sort of lead. Um, she said, "Yeah, I can try and help you. I can I can talk to him. She had dealt with him before in the past, and I had not. Um, so I told her, okay, well, let me know what you want to do, what happens. Right now, I'm just on duty because I was just reviewing this interrogation that we had the night before, and she said that she was gonna try and contact him, and I told her to through text. I told her, hey, just let me know whenever you need me. I'm just transcribing this interview. Uh, a bit later, she called me. She said that something had come up, so it's gonna have to be postponed. AKA, the martial operation was going on. And I said, no problem. I mean, I'm still gonna be on duty. Just let me know if it happens or not. What happens? Uh, a couple hours go by. Um, after the whole martial situation was resolved, she calls me and she says, "Hey, Montes, I'm gonna go meet up with McQuillan now." And I said, "Oh, okay. What what do you want me to do? Um what do you want me to do?" And she said, "Well, um, this is gonna be a very important conversation more for him, as in it's a kind of like a sensitive topic uh, for him. So there is a high chance that she might end up getting shot at. Um, even before she asked any questions or after she thought that might have been the outcome. Um, she said that
Timing.
um, whatever happens, I want this to be of record, as in, uh, if something happens to me, I'm gonna alpha, right? But if someone asks if Opal was meeting a CI, um, I don't want anyone to chase these people. I don't want anything to come out of this. Just retrieve me, recover my body. I don't want anything else to happen. At that time, I was at MRPD, and I said, "Okay, well, tell me where it is so I can be somewhat near in case something does pop up." She said, "By the dogs and catfish by the lighthouse." And I said, "Okay, well, I'm just gonna station by Chilia to be like somewhere in the near vicinity, but not immediately, in case they start looking for people before anything happens and you get shot before you even talk to the guys. um, so she went up north. I was finishing a meeting at MRPD, and I brought Pepe to VCSO because he was going off duty. And then I went up Sonora, just off the trail that kind of leads into Chiliad. And I stayed there. From then, I didn't hear anything else from her. She did not say, "Hey, get on radio channel that, like this or that." It was all a trust thing, I would say. Um, Minutes pass, some time pass. I'm just like sporadically checking her blip, sporadically checking dispatch, and at some point I see her blip disappear, but I do still see her on dispatch. And I was like, oh, yes, this is odd. I have never seen something like this happen, but I guess if she does end up getting hurt, she will alpha. We will get that signal. um, More time passes. Dan Fisher comes on duty. I call him. I say, this is the part that I initially left out of my uh, statement when I talked to Ricky. I say, hey, come up north. Opal was talking with someone, and I don't really see her blip. And I'm stationed here to see if any vehicles, if I can see any vehicles slip. Right. That was the whole reason why I was where I was at the time, is to see if I saw any vehicles slip, which I didn't. um, Fisher, I think, I'm not quite sure. He kind of communicated with me, but I was kind of like worried, trying to look around on my GPS if I could see Opal somewhere. I believe he went all up to the power plant, and he wanted to see if he could get like a different perspective from it. And he took Marine One, I think, and he kind of like went around the coast. He didn't say anything, so he went back. Um, uh, at this time, I get a phone call from Opal's phone. Sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry.
Take
At
time.
this point, I get a phone call from Opal's phone. And I said hello. And the other side that I presume it was Sean McQuillan, uh, given his voice and his accent. He said, hello, Miss Montes. I'm gonna paraphrase because I don't remember specifically everything he said. I heard that you were looking for asking some questions about a certain someone. And when he started talking to me, I kind of like froze on the spot. And I said, yes, I am looking for some questions, to ask some questions. And he kind of goes in a little ramble about, do you know what an MC relationship with law enforcement is, and how it works, and blah blah blah. This is all rambling about MCs, and I said, yes, I do understand the relationship between MCs and police officers, but there is someone dead out there, and their family has no clue on what happened, who did it, or why they did it. And he asked me if um I had taken this case because he just came across my desk, or if I was really interested. And I said, well, I'm gonna be honest, no one else had batted an eye on it, no one else had looked into it. And I believe that the people that love this person deserve to know what happened, even if it's not completely satisfying. I believe they deserve justice, and I am trying what I can uh, to deliver that, even if that means knocking on some doors. And if I don't get these answers, it is what it is. At least I tried. uh, he then asked me, well, you can ask me now what it is that you want to know. And I said, if you happen to know, I would like I would like to know why it happened and where it happened. In my head, of course, he's not part of the club that I was looking into, but he might have had some insight or this location where this person was killed, which we do not know, and if he knew why it would have happened. Um, I don't recall correctly what he said after that. Um, he did not answer my questions, and he said, I asked if Oppo was okay, and he said, he made these noises. And then proceeded to say, uh, if you are going to look for her, uh, you can pretty much start now. And he hung up. Um, then I tell Fisher, hey, um, come to where I am. I just got a phone call. When he arrived, I told him, hey, Sean called me, and uh, he said this. And he was like, oh my fucking god, this is one of the dumbest things Opal has ever done. Uh, she's fucking stupid. And I said, let's go look for her. And he said, you have to tell someone about what's going on. And then I reiterated, we had to start looking for her. And so we went, I kind of did a little bit of digging and noticed that House had a couple properties for specifically in Polito, plus a couple down in the city. Um, I didn't think they. This was my thought process. I didn't think they would be dumb enough to go down to the city. Um, so I went up to Polito, kind of like snuck around by the train tracks, see if I could see any cars and movements. I told Dan, go towards the lumberyard. I want you to see if there's any vehicles coming in or out of Polito. And I told him to stay there. And I kind of like snuck around on Polito, trying to see if I could see any vehicles. Um, I did not drive through uh, the houses, like right in front of those. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna find anything here. Let's go back down to the lighthouse. So I took off to the lighthouse. He was following me on a different car, Fisher, and we went to the lighthouse, and sorry, not the lighthouse, the docks, and her car was there, and I searched all around the area, inside the little dock area, around the houses, whatever, and there was nothing there. Uh, then I started panicking, and Fish reiterated, I think you have to tell someone, you have to tell High Command about this. At that time, it was really close for that he had to go off duty. So I told him, hey, let me just check Polito one more time. I went to check Polito. Again, nothing. And that's what he told me, hey, I have to go off duty. You have to tell someone. You have to tell someone about what's going on. And I said, okay. That's when I called Ricky. He told me he was here at BCSO processing. I say, okay, I need to have a meeting with you and Key. I called Key. He said, let me know when Ricky's down in the city. I go down the city. I see them on the meeting room, and I tell them, hey, Opal is currently kidnapped by Sean McQuillan. They both kind of like stood there for a second. They said, what, when, where, how long? I think I said like about 2 hours, an hour and a half. And they said, then what the fuck are we doing? Let's go. He announced it on radio, and I went with him on Air One, looking about different spots as other officers in the PDs were looking around. People were looking around for maybe 20-25 minutes and then called it off. And that's when I went with Ricky. And well, I stayed on the helipad at MRPD while I was making the report and the statement. He asked me not to put all the details on the regular report, as he would put more throughout um, command or high command report. I don't know, and he would take my statement out of it. And we stayed there. I told him my side of the story. Again, I left out the Dan Fisher part. That's when I think Jonah clocked into, told him to come down to MRPD, that something had happened. We were talking until storm. We came back. Rosner had woken up from the ICU after the Marshall incident. I told him to come. Well, we pick him up. Sky also wakes up at this time. We go to the roof. We talk about the whole situation. After a while, I end up going off duty. Dan wakes up. He has a brief meeting with some of you guys. He goes to where we live, and he tells me, why are they talking about this as if I wasn't there for part of it? And I said, I never mentioned you. And he says, well, I don't like that. I told you to tell everything. And I said, okay, I'm going to call Ricky. I called then Ricky, and I told him, hey, this is what I left off from the beginning of the statement. Everything else is as it is. And I told them, if you want to have a better time frame on the whole situation, I can do a consented subpoena, so you can kind of like know the the times of everything because I told them from the beginning, please do not completely trust my time references on this because I'm very bad with that. He sent me the contract and I signed it, and that's what happened that whole day. The next day, I was with Rosner the whole time when we were communicating with McQuillan.
Discord's going to start charging me
Okay.
for the amount I write in these
Is
goddamn
there anything
statements.
else that you feel is important, like after that, you want to add now?
That happened after what I just told you guys.
Yeah.
Well, Saturday when I was in the chief's office and pretty much high command and some command were there. Sorry, Rosner has had asked people to step out just to leave command, high command there. He asked me, this is the only and last chance. Sorry, this is the last chance you have to come out straight. And if you are missing something, now it is the time to tell me if you are missing something from your statement. And I said, no, I am not missing anything. I believe I have recalled everything, and I still stand on that. I have nothing else to add to my statement, and everything I said is what I recall happened. After that, all my communication was with the whoever was holding Opal's phone. I was kind of like reading it to Rosner, to whoever I was on the car with, and on radio, and all my responses were discussed with the people that were kind of like in charge of me in this case, mostly Rosner.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about this one so far?
Did you did you omit any information originally?
The only information I omitted was Dan Fisher being part of it.
And why did you do that?
Um, if you want me to be completely honest, I at the time was so overloaded with everything that was happening. I was kind of like so out of it, considering this was just an Opal and me thing, that what I recall at the time, I did not consider his presence to have been too relevant. Um, but then, of course, after talking about it with him, he was like, I was, well, he didn't really tell me, like, um, hey, doesn't matter. He told me, I want you to tell everything. I realized I had left out that very important detail that someone else was in the know of the situation. Although I do have to remark that he was not aware of the whole circumstances, he only knew what I had told him on the spot, that she had been missing, she had met with Sean McQuillan, and now we don't know where she is. The limitation of his participation was very limited, since he had been on duty for maybe about an hour during the situation.
Is there any reason why you didn't call for backup throughout the whole thing?
I had been stuck with Opal's words of I kind of know what I'm going to get myself into. And she kind of seemed to be fine with that, which is why she did it. I'm guessing I have not spoken to her since before she disappeared.
Why didn't
I
you call when Dan said a couple times we should tell other people about this?
I felt like I could still have it under control, which I clearly did not.
Did you instruct or leverage your relationship with Fisher to make him not report it?
No.
Or did he just go, he just went along with what you were doing?
Yes, I instructed him to do things. I told him, "Hey, go here, go there." Um, but did not in a relationship kind of thing, more like in a coworker thing.
How exactly did you respond to him when he said we should, report this, call it in, get back up? What did you say?
Um, I believe my response was something about the lines of, "No, no, no, no. Listen, if something happens, she will alpha." I was kind of like stuck on that mindset.
Um,
I was kind
you're
of like
doing.
talking over him. Sorry, Sky.
Oh no, you're. That you're done. Are you done now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. You're doing an investigation. Um, had you done any research into who you were dealing with in regards to McClellan?
I did not know much of McQuillan at the time. I knew he's a dangerous criminal, but I had not, or at least I don't recall dealing with him personally, which is why I went to Opal, someone that I thought had more experience with him and kind of like knew how to handle him.
So no research at all. Didn't pull up his profile even.
No.
I have a question if you're done.
Yes, go
Okay.
ahead.
Well, I have two actually. First question is, whenever you heard what Opal wanted to do, did you try to dissuade her, or you went along with the plan?
I went along with the plan.
Okay. Um, did anything alarmed you, or you thought it was a good plan?
Um, I thought it was risky, as in she could get hurt. Um, but she seemed so confident because I didn't ask her personally, "Hey, go meet with this guy one on one." I told her, "Hey, I mean, if he gets caught, and can we bring him to interrogation or something?" And she said, "Well, he's probably gonna be heated up, so he's probably not gonna work with us." Uh, so I went along with what she thought was the best course of action, since if it would have been only me, I wouldn't even had contacted the guy.
Okay. Last question for me is, looking back now, would you have done things differently?
100%.
Could you walk me through that process, please?
Um, with the knowledge that I have now, as soon I guess with the knowledge I have now, I would have told her, hey, maybe let's not do this. Maybe let's not go meet him somewhere isolated by yourself. Um, in the case that she had, and I was aware of this, I would have immediately called for backup all around the area where she was. To be able to have a visual of where she was, who she was with, if there was more than one person, or if it was just the one guy.
That was actually going to be my question. Why the fuck did she not have visual of this?
And as soon as something goes wrong, like in this case, her blip goes missing, roll in and assess the situation.
Okay. When do you think you lost control? Like, when do you think you lost control of the whole situation?
Looking back, I don't think I ever had control of the situation.
Good answer.
That's it for me.
You actually kind of touched on the question that I had. Why did you never have visual of the scene or the meeting or direct oversight?
When she told me the location, I told her, okay, I'm gonna be around Montchiliad to be around, but not in the immediate surroundings. Because I believe she was. I'm gonna say it in this terms, kind of sussed out that they might have had people around looking to see if she was with anyone, and if they spotted a cop on the distance, uh, it would have been over for her at that point. So I guess to answer more directly, I wasn't. I didn't have immediate oversight because I thought I would have been easily spotted, uh, given the location.
So just to clarify, you were worried that providing direct oversight to confirm proof of life would incite these individuals to harm her. You believe them to be dangerous enough that if they saw an officer, they would harm her.
Yes, that's what I was told. As when I say that's what I was told, it's if they know I'm with someone else and someone else is waiting for me, it's over. They're gonna shoot me. she wanted to give it a try, to have the opportunity to ask questions. And that's why I wasn't immediately in the area. And so I told her, hey, I'm gonna be here just a little bit above Grapeseed, parallel to Sonora. She said, yeah, that's fine.
When you did eventually speak with Ricky and Alan, could you just explain the lack of urgency or anything in it? Waiting for Ricky to finish processing and then meet MLPD and so
on? I don't think I can completely explain that one. As in, yes, I know I should have been more urgent. Say, hey, this has to like happen now. Like something needs to happen now. But I believe at the time I was not comprehending the whole situation, or I wasn't understanding what had just happened. It was not sinking in. It was not I hadn't processed it completely. I believe that's why I lacked the urgency of the matter at the time.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions?
I got one more.
Okay.
Montes, when was the last time you read the BCSO detective SOPs?
Probably about 5-6 weeks ago.
When you read them, and perhaps then and now, do you understand why it makes the provisions it does about having nearby marked units, forming command plus, when going to meet with people that we consider to be dangerous?
We know that the Hound's locations have a bunch of computers. They were found with the different.
Yes, I do understand.
They were found with different. Like,
Did you understand when you first read them versus now?
I don't think it really mattered whether she'd read the SOPs or not. If anything, it showed a complete lack of understanding of them either way.
I mean, we have it documented. Yeah,
I think I understood, but living through the situation, I was not thinking about SOPs. I should have, of course. And again, I do understand now why it is like that. But when I think when I read it the first time, I probably thought something like, oh, okay, I mean, nothing like this is ever gonna happen to me. But then it did happen.
She should have stopped talking, dog.
If no one's got anything else, I would like to ask before you leave, just for us to discuss once more. Do you understand, like, now looking back? Do you understand, like, the severity of the situations and your actions.
To put it in one word, yes.
Okay. If no one has anything else, then and chime in if you do. Then I'd like if you could leave us for a minute, Madeline, so we can discuss. But if you could wait outside, we'll bring you back in soon. Okay?
Would you guys mind opening the lobby door for me?
Oh, lobby door is okay.
If you need food or anything, let us know.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's a doozy.
Oh yeah.
I will say that I think it's really important that she understands the severity of the situation. I think that at some point she got overwhelmed and it all got away from her, right?
I I do think that she even said that she never had control over the whole thing.
I mean, my thought listening to her tell the story and answer questions, she just sounds naive, honestly.
Very.
Extremely naive, like way more than I clocked her to be over the last few months.
I can't fault her for putting her trust in a command member and going along, right? Like I can see that even if like I think it's dodgy and I feel like in the moment I would have questioned it, I can't fault her for trusting them. I think everything after became less, following commands and more, uh, Madeline's own choice, and I think she's responsible for the choices that she made. Um, but I can't fault her for the initial following of, what she thought to be command orders, right?
I'm sorry to ask. Maybe I missed that part, but did she say that she thought she was following orders?
Well, to be
Because I
honest,
never
she
heard her
said
say anything like that.
no. I actually wrote down everything she said.
Same.
She said that it was about trust. So it was more that I guess she trusted Opal as a friend and a command member, I suppose.
Yeah, I think this goes back to what I was saying in the other meeting room, though. Like, if somebody tells you to do something and you trust their decision making and follow them, that is following orders, even if they've not said, this is the order, this is what you will do. Command member tells you to do something, you do it.
Ugh, it's really inconsiderate timing for our meeting.
Yeah,
I mean,
fuck it. Actually, never mind. I was going to say they'll survive, but God forbid somebody doesn't.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Well, sorry,
uh,
Sky.
I was gonna say on the. I mean, I understand the initial, operating under the good faith of what Opal was telling her and everything like that. But I have to stress where it's part of what we're supposed to do as well as holding each other accountable, and the fact that she just you know let it go for so long, it just it's kind of mind blowing.
I think that's my biggest issue is fucking. I didn't know that it was 2 hours of Opal missing and her not contacting anyone. But that is a very long time to leave. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also,
Especially after Dan had said several times we should tell someone. I mean, to be honest, Dan should have taken it upon himself and just done it, but it's not about like Dan's actions, about Montez's, right?
the further details on the phone call with McQuillan, the fact that they had like she engaged him in a conversation about why they set up the meeting in the first place, as opposed to like, hey, where the fuck's Opal, right off the rip. That was not like like a footnote at the end of the conversation, like, oh yeah, she's kidnapped, you can look for her. Like, it wasn't the first thing in her mind. The first thing in her mind was, I need the information that the whole meeting was for. My impression of the phone call from McQuillan initially was just, you know, haha, saw Ford, Opal's kidnapped. I want to play a game, right? It doesn't really sound like what the phone call was like.
I'm also concerned. As was she a probationary detective or was she
Yes.
full?
No. Probationary detective technically did not exist until Montes. I stressed to the detective unit, primarily Maeve and Raka, that the detective unit needs to be more open, and people who are interested and show abilities in investigations should be nurtured, taught, and trained in those skills. They should be enabled to continue using those skills. People wanted her to become full detective. I said no, she should be probationary, because if at any point she misuses any of the equipment that detectives have, such as a drone, it could lead to detectives as a whole losing the ability to use those. So she should be monitored. Of course, didn't expect something like this to happen, because I would have believed that anything of this scale would result in her contacting a lead of a detective unit, which, by the way, Opal is.
I asked because I mean, I'm very far away from being a detective, but one of the first things that comes to mind if I'm going to do an investigation is I familiarize myself with the people involved. Um, Looking into Theodora's murder and wanting to talk to Sean about it. I understand not having the rapport and wanting to bring Opal in, but at the very least, she should have looked into McQuillan. Even just as simple as looking at his record, even at the very least. I mean, he's a cop killer. He has a murder charge. Murder of a cop. That's like a giant fucking red flag that she just didn't even look into.
Yeah, part of me kind of thinks that, I mean, the way that I would research that is by asking somebody who knew, in which case this was Opal.
Joe, could you read us what Maeve had sent?
Yes. Give me one moment. I know the panel is happening soon, and I won't make it. My take is that if her story is accurate, she was following orders, but she should still know better as a senior deputy and probationary detective. I believe we revoke senior and probationary detective. I don't believe she should be fired or suspended for any longer. I know she has been suspended while Opal has not, so I want a fair punishment. There's an asterisk. I don't believe we should go extremely hard on her if LSPD decide to go light on Opal. By fair, I mean relative to their ranks and involvement. There are more emails, Also, from what I have been told by LSPD, take it with a grain of salt, but Opal apparently is saying that she did not make the order to not do anything, or at least didn't say those words. I would double check Opal's statement that it was taken by Doc and hold off on any punishment until Opal's panel is also done. If it is revealed that Montes lied even further about the orders, she should be removed. But I'm also very sure that everyone on the panel will make the right decision. Final email. I think it's even worse. thinking back to the fact that she was with me on the Babylonian op, and she saw how much thought we put into that, showing people that we will be in a dangerous spot and going through so many measures with everyone to make sure we got out okay. For context, for those of you who don't know, we had a UC operation that should not leave this room, in which we had Metal Montes and Maeve Wolf go into the trade day at Babylon in order to acquire information about what was being sold or traded at those trade days.
Don't get me fucking started on this. Sorry, go ahead.
And we had, I want to say 5 or 6 marked units in the area on radio. We did everything we could in order to ensure that they were safe in the best way that we could do so. Eyes were always on at least their general vicinity, or at least if there was not movement, we could try and get eyes on their location. They were not on PD radio because we did not want them to get checked up on, wire checked and found that they had a PD radio, in which case they would just get shot on the spot. And we had constant communication between all of the observing units. Granted, I will say that that was a larger operation, for it's the middle of fucking New Babylon on a trade day where there's sometimes, 60 people there, all with weapons, as opposed to a one-on-one meeting.
Where is Opal's statement?
It was given to Doc, so I will have to look for...
Opal Price kidnapping statement?
That sounds about right.
Ah, yes. 45520. It's gonna take a moment to read this. I'm a slow reader, I'm sorry.
I think I'm gonna also...
Can you read it to us?
Yes. Actually, Joe, can you do that? I don't think I can read this whole thing out loud.
Montes called me and asked how her rapport with Sean McQuillan is. Opal said that they get on well. Montes says she is investigating a murder and asks if he will tell Opal information. Montes said ADMC did it. Opal said their history is messy, but she would try. So Opal set up a meeting with him, like she has many times before. Expected him to walk away once he heard. She got to the lighthouse docks, was on radio, and figured she would know if things were going to go south because they didn't know. Got to the place she has met with him many times before. There was a black car there, a baller or a rebler. Didn't see anyone at first. Looked down the dock and no one was there. Went into the boathouse that is there, thinking they might be in there. She walked in, and that's where they were. There were 2 males. One was Sean. He was wearing a mask at the time, but later removed it, so she knew it was Sean. Second one sounded Irish. Before she got much of a word out, she got put in handcuffs. They put a bag over her head. She thinks they walked out and put her in the car. There was a woman sitting next to her. Couldn't see her, but felt her next to her. She said something. Opal said, "Is there someone next to me?" She said, "Hello, sweetheart," or something like that. Opal was still cocky at the time because she was still on duty, still had a blip. Drove for 3, maybe 4 minutes. The road felt bumpy. Don't think there was an actual road. Felt bumpy. They pulled her out of the car, walked for a bit. They took the bag off her head. She was in a cage. She was very confused because she hadn't even asked her question. Hadn't been more than a week before she last met with them, after they shot Bubba. They were chasing cops around the city and everyone thought they would get shot. Opal met with them at La Fuente Blanca to try and get them not to shoot cops, uninvolved or at all. They were on board after that talk. Didn't shoot anyone after that talk. Wasn't the first time she met with them. She figured she would just ask the question, and if they didn't want to answer, they would walk away. Instead, she was black-bagged and handcuffed and put in a cell. They took everything off her. They were upset she was on their radio. She begged them to let her go. She said she had a jammer up her ass, but then she found out they jammed her tracker. I assume that's tracker up her ass. They wanted to know about the radio, but they didn't believe me. They said they would torture the truth out of me. They didn't that day. They left her alone. She was yelling, begging for her freedom. She came to a couple of hours later. She tried everything, the doors, the walls. She tried to punch her way through the wall, but didn't work. Before she passed out on the day they took her, Sean was there with Flop de Gong. They were initially wearing masks, but they took them off at one point. She doesn't know when. The next day, they were back there. She was speaking to Sean. She said, "You can just let me go in the forest. Maybe I just had too much to drink and got lost." She tried anything to be let go. There was a camera, a mattress, and a chair in the cell. Sean said he had caught deputies putting up cameras in Paleto. He didn't like that. He left. It was just Flop and her for God knows how many hours. She was telling Flop, "Hey, you've been a cop before, right? You can't feel this is right. What if I grabbed you through the bars and escaped myself? They wouldn't know it would be your fault. He wouldn't do it." She was begging for her life. They said it was nothing personal. They said, "You wear the badge and you are for the institution." They asked, "How can you not see what is wrong with it?" It was then she resigned herself to the fact she wasn't leaving that cell alive. She would die in that cell. Sean said they were going to torture her. She knew it wasn't going to be an easy way out either, so when they gave her food, she refused to eat. She figured if she was going to die anyway, get tortured, she would do it on her own terms, not let herself get tortured. She doesn't know what happened. She blacked out. Next thing she knows, she's duct taped to the chair in the cell and has an IV in her arm. Sean was there again. She thought, if you're going to torture me and kill me anyway. Sean kept saying, if they play their cards right, nothing has happened to you, Opal. She trusted him when she met with him, and that was a mistake. So why would she trust him now? He left, just flopping her again. He asked about her favorite case she ever worked on. She told him about a case that she would never forget. Then he went and told her about a few cases that she would never forget. He would never forget. Then he told her about how he murdered Pierce. She started yelling at him at that point. He left, but was still there because she asked him if she could use the bathroom. He said, "You can piss your pants or piss in a corner." She thought maybe I can convince him to take me outside and she could try and escape. She asked what was going on, but he said he doesn't know, but he would tell her once he knows. She was still duct taped to the chair. Then she heard the sirens. So many sirens. Flop came back. Heard a voice outside the door. Thinks Flop was on the radio. Flop said, "I'm sorry, Opal." Then everything went black. They took her engagement ring on the first day they took everything. She was worried about it and wanted it back. Sean said, "Don't worry, Opal. I don't care about your ring. You will either get it back or you will be buried with it." She's also missing her phone and all of her PD equipment and a notebook. Doc asks, "When did they take you?" She responded. She guesses they were upset at the PD. She ended up asking her question about Theodora, but didn't get an answer from him. Kept saying everything was wrong with the PD. When she was with Flop, it felt like he was trying to turn her. How he did nothing but try to improve PD and basically got spat at. When he left, he was labeled a criminal for months without having a record. It felt like they were trying to turn her, but she doesn't think that that's why they took her. Who took your stuff? They took some stuff initially in the cell. They covered her eyes again and took more. At one point, Sean said he couldn't carry anymore and asked for help and said, "Put it in a box or something." There was a woman there, the same one from the car. She thinks the same Irish-sounding guy from the car was there. Just before everything went black, they were talking about a knife, maybe a box cutter. She's not sure what they were going to do with her, but it wasn't great. Any idea who the other people were? No idea. They never took off their masks. There was maybe 4 different people. Sean, Flop, unknown Irish male, unknown female. All looked the same. Could have been more. All blacked out, wearing their colors. Did you see them wearing anything identifiable? Wants to say she saw them with a hound's mask, but not sure. How did you know their radio? Just prior in the day, I guess they got chased and she was talking with Nova and Maeve and they were telling her about how they abandoned a car and they left a radio in the car. She got on it because it was funny and it was active. She was on it for 15 to 20 minutes. She thought it would be good to stay on the radio because she will know if they try something. Did you hear them use names at any point? Not as far as she remembers. How did you arrange the meeting with Sean? She wanted to put his mind at ease. She previously texted Ivy asking a question and she was angry. Didn't want to text anyone again. She wanted to solve the murder. She knows what it's like to know a gang member who knows information about your murder and then not wanting to talk. She called him from a payphone to put his mind at ease. How did you know where to meet? He pinged her to the spot. She doesn't think it was anonymous. She had no reason to think that day would be different. They've met countless times before. Do you remember the plate of the car at the meet? No, she does not remember. They mentioned church on the radio earlier. She guesses Friday is their church day. At some point, Sean, or who she thinks was Sean, had said something like, Shay must come here, I need you for something. I figured he would bring him because last time he was there, he is high command or something. It was a good few hours between hearing that and the meeting. She was delayed. I do think he said Shay must get the Rebler, I need you for something. Did Sean mention he was in contact with the PD? He said he was in contact with Montes. He had given her a window and she hadn't contacted him. He asked her who else cares about you. She didn't say anyone. The first day they were trying to figure out who she cared about. She didn't want to give them that ammo. He asked, do you think Lex cares about you? She said, I hope so. He said, I guess we will see. She knew at one point he was on the phone with Montes at one point on the first day. Did you hear that conversation? She heard a little bit of one side of it, doesn't really remember what it said. Did Sean mention the court case call? No, not as far as I can remember. The only motivation that was given to you was that you were in the PD. Yes, they were trying to prove a point with her. She said, did I do that? They said it wasn't personal, this isn't about you. Did they say they were using you as a message against the PD? They didn't say that directly, but that is what she thought. They said if they played their cards right, you'll be just fine. They didn't physically hurt her until the cops were at the door. Do you recall them reading any of the messages before her and Chief Rhodes? She recalls them going through her phone, but nothing was mentioned. She didn't save Rhodes as chief. She did have a text with him discussing strategy. Context, this is about a civil case that Sean has against the LSPD and Opal. Did they move you other than the place you were found? I was in the room the entire time. Do you know everything that you had on you that was stolen, down to the exact number? Phone, notebook, engagement ring, MP5, heavy rifle, heavy pistol. Doesn't remember if she had IFAX, didn't take the tourniquets. A taser, advanced repair kit, took a camera, nightstick, compass, evidence bag, spikes, radio, SIF radio, taser cartridges, 6 heavy pistol mags, loose ammo for the heavy pistol, and a little for her class 2. She still has her armor and tourniquets. What was in the notebook? Just personal notes. When she finds loose pages, she puts them in. She has a template for traffic tickets because she likes giving out physical ones. There's no mention of any orders in there or arranging at all. My throat is dry.
Thank you.
Good job.
So I got kind of a wriggling little thought in the back of my mind, which is during the questioning just now, Montes said very, very much so that she really had no idea about Sean McQuillan. That she'd done no research into him, just I guess figured he was an average Joe motorcycle guy or something along those lines, right? Isn't she real close with Remy? Like I really struggle. I really struggle to believe that in all the months of them kidnapping and torturing cops, shooting, killing cops, knowing Remy as close as she does, all the months that Remy was being tortured and haunted by McQuillan, I really seriously doubt she did not know a single thing about Sean McQuillan, which makes a lot of sense to me when I think about why did she not have the lack of urgency. It's because I think she and Opal concocted this very cocky idea to meet with the devil, and the minute it went tits up, Montes really freaked the fuck out because she knew she had done something really deeply stupid, which is why she delayed telling anyone. It's not that she can't explain the lack of urgency. She doesn't want to. She knew she fucked up, and that's why she, off the rip, did not bring up Fisher's involvement, because she knew. She knew before she walked into that meeting with Ricky and Key, she knew how deeply she'd fucked up. Because I think she knows exactly who the fuck Sean McQuillan is and what he's capable of. And I think she and Opal decided to fly real fucking close to the sun. It just don't make any sense to me that she wouldn't know who he is.
Yeah, I agree. I'd also like to note, not that it's really relevant to Madeline, but the Hound's radio that day was found like early shift 1. And this happened closer to shift 3. So
Yeah, the actual meeting would have happened around about now.
about now.
Probably an extra hour.
So not that it's really relevant to Madeline, but I will say that that radio was found a lot longer than 15 to 20 minutes before the meeting. Hey, I need to meditate for a second. Keep talking. I will. I'm sorry. I need to meditate. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to narrow this down to the exact points in which things went wrong. Opal might state that it was not orders, it was suggestions. Dan might state that what he said was not, like, it might recognize the mistake and that he didn't take over or make orders on the scene. So I'm trying to think of the exact points at which Montes has made fuck-ups. The 2 hours, the exact point at which she is not understanding the preservation of life of other officers is the main sticking point to me. A critical lack of understanding when it comes to investigatory matters and meeting criminals. Even just using the excuse of a CI is a critical misunderstanding of what a CI is and how to interact and integrate with one, or use them effectively on the field. God, that scared the shit out of me, Petrov. I remember that's a 22. Yeah. Oh, he's probably shooting locals now. So then I guess the point still comes down to, is this something that we wish to fire them over?
No.
And if not, what is the alternative punishment?
My biggest thing about all of this is that Montes is training people. That's not quite the behavior I'm looking into having to deal with down the line with multiple people that she's been FDOing.
Mm.
We can all make like judgment mistake, even big ones like that. But I don't know. What do you like? Do you
Montes.
fear for the department when you hear that someone that makes decision like that trains people right now?
I feel for investigations and investigators. I do not believe that that is something that would come up in general patrol. However, I do definitely think if not firing, FTO cert should be removed. In fact, I think all cert. Personally, I think probably even demotion to PPO, which would remove all certs and they would have to be re-earned.
I agree with that. I don't know for PPO. I don't know what you guys want to do or what Peters want to do with that. But at least removing all certs, there is a serious need of retraining for these situations.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. I mean, DuPont's point is very valid. Like, is this it? It has the potential to be concerning in the future if these are the people that are training people, but
Uh,
yeah, go ahead, Sky.
I mean, I, the PNT. I mean, I trust Jonah to make judgment calls on there. I do highly recommend removal of the FTO cert, removal from detective. I also can't trust her to have good decision making under pressure, especially. So removal from senior back down. I don't see necessarily a point to go all the way down to PPO, but to deputy for sure. Uh, at the very least.
Are we at punishment?
I
Would you
think so, yeah.
say?
Yeah, I asked if people like we look at the contentious points, what things that she has done wrong, and then determine are we going to fire her for that? I asked the general room. Sky was the only one who spoke up and said no, but it kind of sounds like everybody else is on that same vein. Am I assuming correctly?
I don't agree for PPO. I think losing all sorts is already a punishment enough.
Jenna, are you in differing opinion? Do you believe that she should be fired for what has been done?
I think that this is definitely something that I would consider worthy of termination. But the minimum that I would like to see from this is demotion to deputy, removal of detective if she's an FTO, removal of that as well. 48 to 72 hour suspension, and whatever DAPS is necessary, I'd like her to be on a 2-week probationary period.
I do think there is a utility to DAPS, though I know everyone doesn't think very much of them. I do think the utility of DAPS in this situation would it be like, let's say, 5 DAPS for conduct unbecoming and an additional 3 DAPS for negligence or something like that. That does put her on a month to 2 month notice, right, where she will have to be very actively and intentional about every decision she makes. It's not just resetting her back to a certain point in her progression of her career, but actually putting her on sort of a notice for that period of time where if she were to do something stupid like shoot somebody with her gun when she shouldn't, or really any kind of small procedural mistake will have big implications because it'll send her straight back to a review panel like this. So I do think there is actually utility in also giving her depths. And it also allows us to impress upon her by organizing how many points for what particular issue we have to make her to impress upon her more actively. You know, where did she fuck up instead of just she fucked up in general. It's like you fucked up for this and you fucked up for that and you get this many points for that. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you want to go first, Sky?
I was gonna say I do. DAPs were in my original suggestion for punishments when we talked on what was it, Saturday or whatever that day was. I do think giving her like 5, because it's 6 is when you start racking up suspensions, right? So giving her the 5 to put her on that border.
Whilst I don't disagree with Depths, my core thought here is when punishing someone, what lesson am I trying to teach? I.e., what has she done in this situation, and how do we teach her to never fucking do it again? In which case, my problem here is one, not following SOPs broadly, but also not preserving an officer's life, which is why me and Jenna discussed an idea of making her do learning experiences with EMS in order to understand,
yes,
like, the importance of trying to save somebody's fucking life.
So like ride-alongs with EMS, or
I mean, she's first aid certed, so she can assist in treatment. I have already spoken with EMS in a very, very vague and broad term, as if they would be okay with officers, you know, having to go on learning experiences with EMS, and they were okay with it. Obviously, I didn't mention any names or why it would be happening or when it would be happening. But they aren't slighted by the idea that we would be using them as a punishment department.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk to my sister. She's the chief, and she's also close with Montes, and would be, I think, probably more than happy to facilitate a growth moment for Montes. I think she would take it very seriously. I think Charlotte would also be a good person to talk to in EMS as a ex-BCSO and somebody who, you know, I have experienced firsthand does a wonderful job issuing punishment with empathy.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever she transferred to the department, what was the reason why she left the LSPD in the first place? Was it punishment stuff that happened with them, or
No.
As
is that
far
a
as
yes?
No, no, no. I said no.
Okay, my bad.
She did a 2-for-1 transfer, right? She transferred from shift 3 to shift 2, and she transferred back to BCSO from LSPD. It wasn't really in relation to anything that like punishment wise in shift 3. It was just
it's like a health conscious decision, right?
yeah, she was just happier in shift 2 and happier
Okay.
with the the command structure and everything in BCSO in shift 2.
That's good.
So that's what all really she wanted to transfer for.
Was there any other incident with her that needed some kind of daps or anything? Any concerns prior to this that could have any, uh, that could be associated with the same type of reaction she got today, or like for this incident? Like, did she do something similar before?
No, nothing in relation. The only thing she's really ever been dapped for off the top of my mind is paperwork problems.
9 mil tase, I'm pretty sure I dapped her like
Maybe
back when
one
she
of
was a
those.
like
Yeah.
just under strap.
But nothing like in the
Well,
same
she
sort
would
No,
have.
no, like actual
She would have
significant
been in
fuck up.
shift 3 if she was a brand new deputy. So.
Yeah, she did it in shift 2, and I looking back on it, it was probably inappropriate, but I didn't realize I contacted a sergeant in shift 3 LSPD because I think she transferred at that point. So actually, I doubled up on the punishment with Fisher. Just got it done and dusted.
So my 2 cents is I don't believe in daps, and that's just a me thing. Okay. I think the EMS thing could be interesting, but I also don't want them to feel like they're the punishment type of deal. I don't think they would take it that way, but I hope we just don't make it a habit.
Um,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Rosner said that he already cleared that with them. That they're
Yeah.
not taking it that way.
I spoke with Violet specifically and wanted to very much stress that I would never want to use any other department as a punishment or feel that their job is, oh, what's the word, belittled.
Yeah.
And she was very on board with the idea, very enthusiastic about the idea, and wanted to speak to the rest of her command and high command about it.
That's fair.
I'm having a look at senior PD reports now about Montes.
Thank you. This is really important. I can't read, guys. I cannot read.
Yes,
But no, for real, I just
Yeah, all I can see is a 9mm tase from Remy, unless people just haven't tagged or used Montez's name in the title. In which case, I can't fucking find it, so.
Also, like during her testimony, she said that she knew the danger of the whole thing as to putting her car close to the scene. You guys remember that?
Yeah,
Like,
that was
I had
concerning.
no overwatch on the scene because I knew it would be dangerous and he would be mad if. So she had an idea of how dangerous that could have been from the get go. Like, I find it hard to like just sit here and be like, oh, you had no idea who you were dealing with, but you know you can park your car close. Like, to me, it makes no sense. But I do know that Montes do good work. I've seen her on the field. I think she's a good egg. I just think she just really fucked up. And she was hiding more and more stuff she didn't want to. She fucking panicked, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think she panicked. And like even the fact that the statement of Opal saying that she did not give any order whatsoever, maybe in her book, but like it doesn't mean that someone interpreted a different way also. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think Command Plus should always have the presence of mind to know that if you tell someone to do something, even if you're just asking them to do something, it can be interpreted as an order.
Yeah.
What's the historic thing? Was it, won't somebody rid me of these damn priests, which led to a religious revolution because their knights then went and killed a priest? Some king or something. You gotta realize that your subordinates might just take your word as an order and go follow those words.
I guess another question I have is, as we're arriving at what sounds like a general agreement on a level of punishment, what is the road to forgiveness for Montes? Is she to be allowed to just attempt to re-earn these certs immediately? Is she to be put on an internal cooldown for some period of time?
I think
How do we help her?
personally, at least I would say at least a month, if not 2 or 3.
I think the main cert that is going to be of concern is going to be the detective cert. And I don't imagine she is going to immediately go running back to that. I think
I
if she...
have a suggestion for this. I'm so sorry for cutting you off.
No, go ahead.
I think she should sit with a detective and like the detective have her like go through step by step what happened and what should have been done.
The only one
and
from
give her textbook what would have been good for her to do.
Yeah, the only one from shift 2 who is me. I'm the only one who goes into shift 2.
Would you do something like that with her?
I can, yeah. If I have over a month to do, I will definitely find time within that month. If I have to do it immediately, that's a bigger ask.
Or like if you want to put it that way, okay? She could put the whole situation or the op on a document and just like put it like not a homework or anything like that, but what she thinks would have been better. You know, before being able to reapply, she could needs to go through the situation that happened and makes it like a clean situation while like looking at the SOPs and see what she did wrong and what she could do correct. I you know, like see that she has managed to go through like the big fuck up she did to a position where she's able to make a decision that has like that makes sense. I don't know if you guys get where I'm coming from, but like
No, I get you.
I don't know, like actually going through the steps of like seeing what didn't work and what she should have done and like understanding where she fucked up and like showing it to you and like have you like not judge it or anything, but like just come up with a different plan and see if she actually outgrew the fact that she fucked it up and she could see it for the danger that it had.
I will say I think it was on Monday. Yeah, Monday. I did meet with her briefly. And I basically we didn't talk too much about the panel because I didn't really want to. I was just checking in on her, but I did tell her, I'm like, look, Wednesday's gonna suck. Panels always suck, but what's going to be very, very important is how you look to rebuild yourself. How do you come back from it? The steps that you take after you receive, whatever happens on Wednesday is going to be the most important part. And I told her, I really, really I would want to see her, work her way back up. She's gonna get knocked down. I want her just, stand back up. And she seemed to be very receptive of that. So I hopefully, she takes every step necessary to get back to where she was and learn and come back better, I guess, after.
I imagine a lot of people in this room have had a similar conversation with Montes. I know I sure have in the days following this whole ordeal.
Yeah, same.
I think there's a lot of people rooting for her, even acknowledging how fucked the situation is.
And a lot of us that she looks up to.
So I guess final decisions on punishment is back to deputy, removal of FTO cert, removal of detective cert. She's already been suspended for what, 3 days, 4 days?
I think technically 2. On Saturday, she was informed that she is a ride along and to have no weapons on her, and she rode with me all day because I needed her with the phone in order to communicate with Sean McQuillan. And then,
not for that, she would have been suspended, though, I assume.
I think our discussions. I don't think we had decided that yet. That's a what if. I don't think she was officially suspended until Monday. Am I right, Jenna?
Let me get the day. I don't even know what day it is today.
We're now going into Thursday.
It was the 14th when I reached out.
So she's been
so 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days. And you wanted to do another 2 days there, right, Jenna?
Yeah, I think that there should be a further suspension. I think it should be minimum 48 hours. I think that 72 would be most appropriate. Just start next week afresh.
I agree.
It also gives a good time to decompress from hitting a punishment because it will hit morale and get you a little out of sorts when it comes to mental.
Yeah.
It's a 3-day punishment, deputy, removal of all certs, or removal of FTO and detective cert because she does have some PRT certs.
It's like Air 1 and stuff. I'm not concerned about her abilities.
Yeah, I don't think those are relevant.
And then how many learning experience sessions do we want her to have?
I think just at minimum 1. If she enjoys it and she wants to do more and she feels she's learning, I would leave that up to her. But I would say just 1. I also wouldn't want to overburden the EMS. You know.
So
Yeah.
mandatory 1, implore her to seek further, but it's not a requirement.
Yes.
All right. Oh, you got any words there, Sheriff?
I was just about to ask that too.
No, I think everything. Sorry, I'm just trying to sit here and listen here. A lot of this is, it's kind of out of the loop on. Seems like you guys got it covered. I think kind of making, like, giving her a clear path for, I guess, redemption as well would be a good thing. Not necessarily like, hey, you need to do this, this, and this, but just kind of reassuring that her life inside the. I mean, she fucked up, but her life's not over inside of the sheriff's office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that the search should be removed at minimum for 1 month before she is able to go back to working towards them. I think that she needs that at like I said, at minimum 1 month break to not just like build back up herself, but also to make sure she's clear headed after this whole thing. I think it would be a disservice to herself to.
Has she conducted any big or I shouldn't say big, but just investigations in general?
Yes, she has been for a while. Leading very well and been doing a very good job on them. She had been doing some before she even got the certification. I was sitting in on a one involving
PD, PD equipment, right?
No, I
turned
was
it into a DT pump. No, they should get a lot of help with that though.
That one was good. That started her off. I mean, recently, Jackie Legs was suspiciously knocked unconscious as he unlocked an ICU door, which allowed somebody who hurt his close friend from the ADMC, Nana Banana, allowed that person to be stolen from ICU and then had their arm and tongue removed before
Okay.
being returned.
So this is ultimately I think the ball's gonna fall into your court, but I think a month is like. Are you gonna is the detective unit gonna be shot in the foot because she's gone for a month? And then also the other thing I would take into account is well, I don't always want to use this excuse. Like things in the city move extremely fast, and 30 days is I mean 30 days could feel like an eternity.
That's a lot.
30 days is how long she'd have to take before she got rehired.
I understand that, but we're not firing her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To have to ultimately take that away for 30 days, like again, these are the questions, right? Are are you gonna not cripple, but are you gonna deter the detective unit with her losing that? And do you think that? I mean, 30 in my opinion, I think 30 days is a long time.
I do think
the
detective unit in shift 2 is essentially outside of Montes non-existent. There are people who do investigations, and I do provide as much oversight as I can. But we've had the issue of not having a department to help out a detective unit in the shift for a longer time. So now dealing with building the detective unit is a concern, but it has not been for a while.
If I may make a suggestion on that as well, I mean, don't give her a time frame. Just tell her she has to prove her. If she wants it back, she's gonna have to earn it back. You know.
Yeah.
Everything in the PD, everything we have, and it's another thing. I mean, we'll get to that later. But it's like a lot of people take things for granted. Like nobody's guaranteed anything in this department, and it's a privilege to be here. So, you know, if she wants it bad enough, she's gonna have to earn it.
I think she will.
I think ultimately the question is, can she make all of us trust her on duty as a 77 again? Will she preserve her life? At that point, if I trust her again, I would be willing to consider her for detective once more if she puts the work in.
There's one more really big concern that nobody's brought up yet, which is Sean McQuillan. I've seen the pattern firsthand multiple times. Sky, I know you're aware of it too. He's got hooks in her. So even if she goes, like full, no contact, not letting him do nothing, not talking to him again, not, fucking around with Sean McQuillan. Sean is going to make an entrance. He's going to try to pull on those hooks. He's going to use whatever leverage he can to fuck with her, because he's got a door open there. And we need to make sure that we are keeping a very close eye on Montes for her own safety. We need to make sure to keep him the hell away from her.
I'll be honest, I'll main tank that movie critic motherfucking freak.
But you're not a pussy. You're not a pushover. You're not naive.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying these are things that Montes are. Well, Montes is naive, right? I think there's a very likely scenario there where McQuillan figures out he's not going to get no traction with you, but he's going to consider his options. He's going to go for the low hanging fruit. I do think we need to keep an eye on her long term, no matter what.
I'm thinking since his priorities might be focused a little on me, since at this moment I could be seizing his clubhouse.
He's petty. If he can't exact whatever vengeance he perceives he desires from you, he'll take it out on someone else, and he knows he's golden in with Montes.
I think that we just,
keep
like you said, we keep an eye on her. Maybe ask her if, McQuillan does contact her, tries to, play mind games with her, that she lets us know. But ultimately, that's going to be her decision.
Cantor is now working as the psychiatric department. I kind of need it for my case. For her to go in and say that, she received some sort of mental torture from it.
Some food real quick. I'm about to pass out.
I got food on me.
Yeah, okay.
I will say though that I don't think she needs the detective cert to be a 77 on things like that. Right? She can still continue to learn. She can still continue to develop herself.
Ooh, college macho.
I don't think that as a probationary detective removing the cert for a minimum of a month, I don't think that that would have a significant effect on the detective unit as a whole.
I agree entirely, and I'll be honest, I'd rather have no detective than the detective I can't trust. The detective we can't trust leaves us open to civil cases and months of headaches dealing with fuck ups. The case not getting investigated because we don't have anybody to investigate it. That's a problem, but I think ultimately less of a headache than us fucking up and doing things wrong.
Yeah, I mean the way I see detective unit and certification as a whole is that anyone can do an investigation. Jonah can do an investigation if he wants. Dupont can do one if she wants. Anyone can do it. However, the detectives are like the people who specialize in that and the people who you go to if you have questions, if you want to do an operation, so on and so forth. And I don't feel that Madeline is in a position where she would be able to fulfill that role.
Or advise others,
I think, of course, she can work back towards that, and I think that taking a month to do so is entirely appropriate.
Okay. We want to hammer down the final then, and I'll bring her in.
I've written in the bottom of the report, the High Command report, demotion to deputy, removal of detective certification, removal of FTO certification, suspension until Monday 20th. Do we want to do any DAPs on her record?
5 dips. That was what was discussed. Did people want to agree or disagree with it?
I think that it's good. It's kind of keeps it as a keep on your toes sort of thing. It kind of goes with a probationary period.
It's for 2 months, right? 60 days, 5 deps.
I think I would only want them to go for a month. Yeah.
Yeah, just 30
days. I
days.
think 2 months is excessive.
I also think we need to make it clear that if she fucks up seriously again in the next 30 days, she's fired.
Yeah.
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 Can I just say something?
Of course you can.
Is like I feel like yeah, we do punish behavior like that, but I also feel like sometimes we leave these people on the side without like making sure they it's like whenever we train people.
Oh my god, are you gonna beat us, Dupont?
Yes, I will. I'm so disappointed in y'all. Hang on.
The hell?
Sorry. No, but I just want to make sure that like somebody sit down with her and check like what not to do next time. Like
I think we should do that when she comes back in, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I think like right now we should say everything that we need to say about it. If she has any questions, she can ask about it. But once we leave this room, that's kind of it. Besides, like obviously the certs and the daps and things, like that'll be ongoing for her. But I don't want this to keep going around and around and around and around. I would just like to close the door on it so that Madeline can start to move on and we can start to move forward.
I think the only thing long term any of us will be impressing upon her is the support I believe most of us have already offered her. That we want her to get through this, that we want her to bounce back. I think that's the only long term thing that's going to be coming from us. Anyone in this room, I know Sky, Joe, myself, right? Very actively involved in growing and helping out Montes. I don't think there's going to be any lack of that guidance and structure going forward.
Yeah, I think Dupont just wants to see continued support. Like the thing is she's saying is like, yeah, we're gonna tell her all this, but the thing is like you could tell someone something, but ultimately she needs guidance, and through our actions need to be mentored into a place that is
I think she just needs training because that shows a lack of training. This shows a lack of training and removing certs and whatnot. Fine, it's good. She's gonna have to like get it again, but it's not training, and obviously this is something that she's lacking. So at some point, someone has to ask question where the fuck up comes from and how to correct it. Because if this happens to someone that's been part of the department for so long, Like, are we not training detective properly, or like where the fuck the mistake come from? You know, that's where I'm coming from.
You
Like,
want me
that's
to
what I
be
mean.
very critical? Honestly, Opal and the LSPD, because we did a undercover operation with her, and it went very well because we had the right detectives, myself and Maeve. Jenna was there as well, instructing people on how it should be done and what should be done, and it was done correctly. And it was, I want to say, an hour long, almost, maybe even longer, inside the heart of Babylon, gathering information on all of their weapons, things being sold, the prices of stuff. They made some trades.
Do you guys know about that leak, by the way?
Yeah,
Fine.
I'm aware of it.
Okay.
Okay, but like what I'm wondering is just like, is it just bad judgment on her end, or she does not understand that it should always be like that?
I
Do
I
you
think
know what
it
I mean?
seems to be a bit of both, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. And I think that, we got to remember this, Madeline is someone we were looking at for bringing up to sergeant in the near future.
Yep.
She's not someone that is just a silly little guy. She's someone that we wanted to put in command.
What's wrong with the lake?
And
Oh, yeah, I know.
people
That's what I
people
mentioned
learn
earlier.
at
That she's a good egg and she's
Leak.
been doing good work,
yeah.
right?
People learn every day. They learn every day. They grow at all stages of rank and whatnot. A rank doesn't mean that you know everything or you can do everything. I think that maybe it would be valuable for her to have, maybe more of a mentor rather than a friend, just someone she can talk to, right? Maybe a mentor. DuPont, would you be interested in sort of taking her under your wing like that?
I don't think I'm too much into like detective things to be that kind of role for her.
I
I
mean,
really don't touch at any investigation like that long term.
not so much like detective. I really think that this goes beyond even just detective
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Like, this is just basic decision
Decision
making.
making calculus, yeah.
Yes, this is just what I would consider common sense, right? Um, just like, hey, maybe we should do this, or you know,
I will try, but I think we should all do it in my true and honest opinion, because I'm not always around. Like, I don't want to, you know, I feel like we should all do things like that for everybody in the department and keep in like touch base with everyone.
I agree and
Yeah.
have been. This is why I say I think the failure comes on from the Opal and the LSPD side, in part because every investigation she has been conducting and has, been speaking about, she has come to me and asked for my guidance this whole time, and I haven't seen a single mistake from her this whole time. This is the first one. And it's the first one that she has gone to a detective from another department and asked their guidance, and it's turned into a complete fucking shit show.
All right. That's fair. That's fair.
I do also think this will serve, and it has probably already served, to jog her out of any kind of like not being locked in, not being on the ball when she, clocks on to work, right? Actually, having just been promoted to senior, right? That's something you would hope would be happening. But I do think that this ultimately, for her own mentality at work, will serve to fix maybe a deficiency that was there, or jumpstart whatever process needs to be going for her to be a responsible person, to be a good detective, to be somebody that we can trust, to be our backup. I think this will itself serve as a lot of coaching that you're asking for us to help her with, which I think we will also go out of our way to do. I would expect.
Yeah. Trying to spend, I think with everybody deserves that, because not everyone is strong on every different point, but that's for another time, I think.
Okay, I think we're going around in circles. Can we have one speaker to tell her the punishments?
If you want me to do it, I can do it. The only thing I
sure.
ask, so are you solidified? Are you guys like solid 30 days? And if that's the case, maybe we just tell her like, look, you got, I don't know.
30 days for the depths?
No, not for the dabs, for the detective thing.
I don't think we have to be solid on the 30 days. We have the 30 days for the depths.
I think we should look at that later on. To be 100% honest,
Yeah.
I'm not
I'll be.
Yeah, go ahead,
Sorry,
Jenna.
I was just gonna say I won't be surprised if Montes is not quick to go after these certs again. Anyway, she'll probably self-impose some cooldown. If I'm honest,
Okay.
I don't think she'll come on duty on Monday and be like, "All right, guys, I'm ready for my FTO cert back." You know what I mean? I think it can probably go unspoken,
Okay.
and we can, when she's ready for it, we can revisit then if we feel she's ready.
Sorry, we forgot to add that.
Oh, thank you.
It's the wrong gray. I'm sorry. All right. I shall go grab her unless there's anybody immediately wanting to stop me.
Before you do, I would like for us to go over what we feel should have been done differently in this situation. Joe, are you able to do this one? Like, I would like to do that now in the moment.
In which case, do you want me to do the whole thing from start to finish? Rather,
Are you
because
gonna die?
no, I won't die. I just mean we are yappers, and we have gone round and round and round a couple of times. If we then bring her in and then start talking about what she did wrong, we will then go round and round and round once more. I would like to just hit the point, tell her what the thing is, what she should have done differently, and then send her on her way.
Well, I mean that's exactly it. Like what you should have done differently, what you would have done in that situation, with a clear head, right? So, Peters can go over the disciplinary actions that we're taking today, and then I would like you for you to say what we would have liked to have seen done differently,
Okay.
to avoid this situation.
You.
I'm gonna tell you guys, if it keeps going for like 40 minutes, I'm probably gonna have to dip in the middle because I've been around for.
We're gonna make
today.
we're gonna make it.
Okay.
Not
10.
40 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
I love meeting.
All right, I'm grabbing her. Do you still need food and drink or anything?
I'm good.
Okay, all right, come on. You can breathe easy.
Hi, Gain.
Hi.
Howdy. Oh, Peters, do you want to take it away?
Peters, you're supposed to start.
Oh, well, I know. Well, I'm. This is called a dramatic effect before I take her keys. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to. But listen, you fucked up, Montes, and it's not the end of the world. The most important thing is that you learn from the situation. I think everyone has agreed that you are an asset to the police department, and it's unfortunate that things went down this way. But we want to try to work with you to make sure this doesn't happen in the future. There's some things that I think we can all agree were handled inappropriately, and to make sure that this doesn't happen again, we're just going to make sure that you have the proper information and training. That being said, we are going to be demoting you down to deputy. We're going to be taking your detective cert along with the FTO cert. You're also receiving 5 DAPs, and we've got a suspension that we're going to continue with until Monday. As such, we are going to be talking with EMS. Don't worry, I have a final eval. I am an EMS, so this is not don't look at this as a punishment, okay? This is use this as an opportunity to expand your horizons. But that's it for the disciplinary actions. Do you have any questions for us before we move on?
Sorry, I didn't really understand the EMS part.
Rosner, you care to explain?
One of the big major screw ups here was a not preserving the life of a fellow officer, so you will be forced, or it is mandatory, sorry, for you to go on one session with an EMS. Essentially spend a shift with EMS as an EMS. You are first aid certed. They are already aware of loose details and they're okay with this. We will finalize the details. You will go on one session as mandatory. We would implore you to do more. This is a learning experience to help you understand the value of preserving life. Is that clearer?
Understood.
Okay. Would you like me, sir, to go on about how this should have been done?
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing is like clear example on I could step in a little bit. Somebody else can interject as well. I think the big issue here is we understand that Opal's a higher ranking officer than you, but the thing that's concerning is Opal was missing for 2 hours before we as a police department found out what happened. And I think it doesn't appear malicious, but it's just we ended up having to conduct a what was it, 8 hours, Rosner? How long was it?
Oh, it was 23 straight hours, I had a 3 to 4 hour nap in the middle.
No, just the Opal thing. When was Opal? Did it take 23 hours to recover Opal?
Yeah, from her missing to her recovered, it took me 23 hours.
I think the big things are educating you on things where, I think that you could have done differently. Sorry, I've been around for like 15 hours or something. But some of the blame I think does lay on us because you were. I don't necessarily think it's kind of misinformed. I would say to an extent, but we want to make sure that you find success inside of the BCSO and continue to do good work. I mean, if you have anything else to say, Rosser, feel free to jump in.
The SOPs are in place for these situations, not to get red tape and make things hard to do, but for officer safety. In this situation, you should have always had eyes on Opal, or as much eyes as you could have got. If it is, and you should have 2 units that are close and have eyes on the situation. If it is a situation that you believe that you getting spotted would result in her dying or getting shot, and you could only get the 1 unit, pull out. It's not worth it. Whatever information you would have garnered from that is not worth an officer dying. In these situations, you should have command approval. Other people should know that this is happening. So if something goes wrong, because the only thing that you can guarantee about a plan is it won't go to it. So in these scenarios, you need to make sure that command plus knows. A high command member should have been aware of this so that when and if something goes wrong, you can immediately let them know, or they can be surveying. We also usually get dispatched to give us welfare checks constantly to ensure that if we're meeting with people, we haven't been kidnapped. The moment Opal's GPS tracker was removed, everything had gone out the window. Whatever you had discussed, whatever orders had been made beforehand, that had all gone out the window. The standard situation was no longer standard. There should have been 78s off the rip. I don't believe there's anything else I wish to add on that.
Do you have any questions, Montes?
Not at the time. I would like to say thank you to all of you for essentially giving me a chance